Hey Aggies, need to get to Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth Metro, Austin, San Antonio, or other cities? Ditch the bus and try Hitch to book a guaranteed car ride. Hitch, comfy, safe, and affordable daily rides between Texas cities. As an official transportation provider, Hitch even has pickup locations right on campus. Download the Hitch app or visit ridehitch.com. Enter the code AggieLand for 30% off your first 4 rides. That's ridehitch.com. Welcome back to the Home Turf Podcast. It's me, Hunter Mitchell, joined again by my co-host, Cade Harris.
What's going on?
And our special guest for the second episode in a row, this may be because we record episodes back to back.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Grant Gaspard.
I just couldn't get enough of y'all. I just wanted to say one more episode.
And we're here now to talk, 3 weeks in. There's some good, there's some bad. But now we're getting into conference play. Texas A&M football facing off against Auburn. Week 4. Oh, God, I love those 11 a.m. kickoffs, right?
Ooh, I think we got two in a row.
Woo.
Auburn and Arkansas is 11 a.m.
Take it as someone, if you weren't going to actually go to the game, you're a fan just away from the team watching on TV, it's not a bad deal.
I will say,
you watch
That's
the
a
game
great
at
way to
you
start
watch the
Saturday.
game at 11 a.m. You're not stressing during the day, and then you can enjoy the rest of your college football Saturday.
I will say,
Crack open a beer, get in the pool.
I
Sounds like a
appreciate
great day.
appreciate it against Arkansas because that's my ring dunk and birthday weekend. So I'm ring dunking that Friday, Saturday, watch the game that night. Do what you do on a regular Saturday night on your birthday. Praise the Lord, Bible study, etc. Maybe maybe do a puzzle.
You're not lying to anyone.
Man.
So. Yeah, we're not falling for it.
And then
man.
Sunday is recovery day.
Yeah.
From all that Bible
From
study.
that tough puzzle.
Yeah, those puzzles, man, they get intense.
Like 1,000 pieces, man.
I swear to God. But hey, where's my invitation? I didn't get no invitation.
Dude, I didn't get an invitation because he's sending me on assignment to the Arkansas game, which I'm not gonna.
Are
I'm
you
not
going
gonna
to
complain
Arkansas?
about that. Yeah,
You
I
trying to go to Texas Live
just told
right
you
after?
that. Maybe we'll discuss after the pod because I got like other engagements, but we'll see.
It's cool. Well, cause like you were saying a minute ago, man, we're gonna watch that A&M game,
Yeah.
write our story, cover it,
Oh yeah.
and then we're gonna go watch college football at
Exactly.
the best place, better
Honestly,
than Disney World.
I might
It's my
honestly
happy
just say let's
Hey, don't
stick
say
it out
that,
at
'cause
Texas
I'll be-
Live.
Bring your girl.
Well, she's already gonna be there, I think.
Okay, perfect. Let's
Yeah.
go.
So yeah.
They're making plans on the podcast.
Yeah, that's
let's
crazy.
get it.
Everyone's gonna dox us. Like everyone's gonna know where we're at. But
Hey, come meet
yo, we
me.
gotta find Grant and Cade.
Not even for the game we're talking about.
Meet and greet.
Not even for
Yeah.
the game we're talking about.
We're
We're talking about
We're already
we're
moving
talking
on to
for-
Arkansas, dude.
for next week.
Dude,
But-
let's talk LSU. No, just kidding.
But you know what? Basketball time.
You're gonna be in Baton Rouge now.
Come
man.
Baton Rouge.
So
So how about Max Wiener?
baseball? Let's go. No, seriously. Going into conference play, it feels like either we always do the normal start conference play against Arkansas or do the weird early game Auburn for some reason,
Yeah,
and then
Seems like A&M always plays Auburn like first conference game or like towards the end of it.
yeah, it's super strange how
I
they're.
like getting it out of the way though,
This is true.
because they don't.
And I
interest
think they're catching. I think
me.
this,
they haven't interested me in years.
I think this is probably the best time to catch Auburn because I think Hugh Freeze will start figuring it out better
Mhm.
like towards the end of the
Yeah,
year.
I think Auburn doesn't really know what their identity is
Exactly.
yet. So
Yeah.
like early on. A&M I think may have an idea getting there. I think offensively, I think they're say it every week. And I'm glad I'm saying it because for a long time A&M has not been very quarterback friendly. But Connor Wigman has stepped in that role and he's pretty dang good in that role.
Yeah.
Wigman he's done his job.
Yeah.
He's been really. You can see his progression every game. After the Miami game, he was struggling at reading blitzes, picking up blitzes, when to throw, when to run, and literally that week of the game. Oh shit! Yeah, I got distracted.
Let's go.
Let's go, huge.
Breaking news on the pod: A&M volleyball beats Mississippi State. We'll be back.
Now they know when we record.
Oh, yeah. we'll be back with our volleyball podcast next week.
I forgot who at the press conference was talking about Wigman and was like, he's been watching film every day, studying blitzes. We're looking at coverages, studying. Comes out against ULM, and he ran when he was supposed to. Made the right passes. You can tell he's getting better every game. He wants it. He has the skill, he has the talent, but more importantly, he has the heart to play.
Now,
that.
what do you think the over/under is that they give him a blank tape and then he said he was reading blitz packages?
I have no clue.
You don't get that reference?
I did not
I
get that
don't.
reference.
Oh my
Oh
gosh!
man,
I'm
that's
sorry,
a fail.
man. I'm
I
sorry,
hope
man.
I hope one of the listeners
I'm sure
got it.
someone out there.
Hopefully,
can.
someone will laugh at Hunter's joke. He needs it.
Gosh.
Man, fake football fan.
Wow, yeah, I don't feel like.
To be honest, I don't even remember what he said.
Jamarcus Russell.
Oh,
Jamarcus Russell got drafted by the
gosh.
Raiders, and he was notorious for never watching film.
So he pulled a Johnny Manziel.
So they duped him, and they sent him. They
That's
sent
such
him
a
home,
good
gave him a
I thought it
blank
was-
Such a good
I thought it was
so
cool
funny.
that
And
he
asked
like
him
wrote the
the
name
next day,
down.
like,
that
"Hey,
the
what you watch
player's
on
gonna
tape?" And he
draft,
said,
like,
"I was looking at
morning
blitz
before.
packages."
so
that's
much off
crazy.
track.
I'm sorry,
on that one.
It's
Pancake
your fault.
eating.
You bought the It's like the draft day movie when they're
Yeah.
trying to figure out their quarterback and they put like a dollar
But
or like
anyway,
$100 bill.
yeah, Connor
at the
Woodman.
end of
That's
the
one thing I
playbook,
talked
and
with
if they read
Cade
it,
about
usually
Miami.
that person
Was
would,
that
like,
everyone
call
was
them, like,
dogging on the
the
offensive
quarterback
line.
they
Yes, the
wanted
offensive
to
line
be.
had moments where they did not look great. But
Yeah,
the thing is, if you got 5 guys on the offensive line, you send 6 people. You can't expect someone to cover 2. But that means if someone's rushing, someone running around, if you got 4 wide receivers, is going to be open. And that's what you saw a lot of with Wigman against Miami, is that he get corner blitz, wide receiver be open, he would freak out and chunk the ball somewhere. And that's what he really improved against ULM.
And that's why I'm really excited about this game against Auburn. They run a 4-2-5, 6 in the box, and they have 5 out in secondary. You know why? Also to help with coverage, but they're constantly sending in corner blitzes, safety blitzes. They have 8 sacks this year. 6 of them are from non-defensive.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Yeah, like their defensive linemen don't have sacks.
No, it's because they're constantly sending in corner blitzes, safety blitzes, and that's why I'm so linebacker blitzes. And that's why I'm so excited. Oh, go down. Oh, I'm sorry. That's why I'm so excited to watch this game, because even though I don't think they're as talented, this defense is as talented as Miami's is. They run a very similar blitz package as they do. So we'll see if he has been studying. We'll see if he picks up these blitzes and how he performs against this defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's well, other than Miami, I think this is a pretty good test. I think it's a pretty good medium range challenge for the defense to see how they're doing. I think that Peyton Thorne will give him a good test. They're not going to give him a Tyler Van Dyke test at all. But I do think it will be kind of like their gauge to see, like, actually, because they've played against one pretty dang good quarterback and 2 that were subpar.
Yeah.
ULM, New Mexico, whatever.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about that Miami
Oh yeah, I was just
and
gonna,
then against our defense a little bit?
So the first thing I want to talk about was obviously the defense and picking up the packages and things like that. I know a lot of. Yeah, I want to talk about the defense and the different blitz packages coming in and things like that. Also, a lot of people were upset about the secondary's performance. Our defense is secondary. Now, for starters, our secondary did not perform well. They didn't. I'll agree with everyone on that. I feel like a majority of it, even Jaden Peavy tweeted something about it. When you have ex-defensive players tweeting about your DC, that's a bad thing. He wasn't putting the right players in the right spots. There's a couple of the touchdowns where our safety Kerr was in for some reason. You had our true freshman corner lining up against Restrepo, who's just the talented. Now, let me talk about that receiving core real quick on Miami. Dude, this is one. The ACC has some of the best receivers in the nation. At Florida State, at Miami, at North Carolina. So everyone's been hyping up about our receivers. Our receivers have been doing very good, right? Correct. We have one person over 200 yards. It's Evan Stewart. They have Restrepo, Young, George. The receiving core that our secondary faced, one has 300 yards already, one has 209, and one has 202.
Man.
So then kind of
17, 15, 16 receptions.
So then would you say that, like, kind of piggybacking off of what I said, like, that Auburn will be the first like real test that isn't going to be like that is solid but not like really electric?
I 100% agree with you there. They're not going to be as good as Miami's receiving core, but they're going to have similar talent. They're going to be way more talented than New Mexico, than ULM. And this is the first real test since Miami. And I think people are going to see a major jump in the secondary this game. And I think the secondary's made some improvements, especially last episode we talked about Jacoby Matthews.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot more of him than you saw against Miami.
100%. And I think the secondary is going to look much better, hopefully predicting that. However, I don't think that we should just start stabbing them yet, give up all hope on the secondary. You played one of the best receiving corps in the nation in Miami, and Miami's going to finish as a top 10 team.
Yeah.
Especially a really good quarterback. But like you said, you're playing against two subpar, a mid-talented receiving corps, but it's still the SEC. So you're going to get a good look.
Yeah, and then Auburn is not, it's the SEC. Everyone's kind of got talent across the board, bar like Vanderbilt, I guess. But sorry, Vandy, that was a stray shot. I didn't have to go out like that.
They deserve it.
But you've got Hunter in the backfield for Auburn. We talked about him in our power rankings. Super speedy guy, and I think he could cause a lot of problems. Even with Tank Bigsby gone, I think he does. I think he's a pretty reliable back. And I think again Peyton Thorne. I think he is probably in all sense of the definition probably a game manager. I think.
Yeah.
And then defensively, Auburn did look like they were going to be pretty solid defensively. They still are, but they lost a few pretty key pieces.
Yeah.
They did.
Their offense, though, even though we're going to get a good look at the receivers, we're still going to get a good look at an SEC quarterback and Thorne and things like that, but the offense they run is much different. Y'all saw the stats. Who's the number 2 rushing leader on that team? Thorne.
Yeah.
He's the number 2 rushing leader?
Number 2 or 3 rushing leader on the team. Or number 1. No, he's the number 1, actually. He leads the team in rushing yards.
Wow.
So they do run a spread offense.
And that's not a good thing.
So I was watching their film their past 3 games, and they have a spread offense. They like spreading the ball around to their skilled players. But the thing with this offensive coordinator, he utilizes the hell out of his quarterbacks. Now what they're going to do is spread the offense, but the reason he has so many rushing yards is you spread the offense, the receivers run down the field. The first opening that quarterback sees, he's taking it and he's running. That's why he goes in there. That's why they utilize Robbie Ashford so much. A lot in the red zone, a lot of read options in the red zone, but they spread out the offense. The first opening they see, they run. Now, it's going to be a different look. I think we can still get a good look at the secondary overall, but the run defense is going to be important. QB spine is going to be real important. I think we're going to do a great job, and I think their plan is defensively is hopefully Adrian Cooper, quarterback spies, who he's been playing great these past 3 games. One player to watch out for tomorrow or Saturday is Adrian Cooper, because he's going to be the key to winning that game.
Yeah, I think this will be easily linebacker corps' biggest test. Tarian York.
Yeah,
And I think York is you see him progressing and taking a step up. Like he played pretty well in that ULM game, and so I think they're gonna need him to keep stepping up. But I think he will.
No, I agree with y'all. Like, I don't know why, but secondary needs to play good. Obviously, defensive line needs to play good. But like y'all said, it's going to be a big test for the linebackers this game, basically because how their offense runs.
Yeah, because even there's been emphasis like the defensive line needs to get to the quarterback. If the defensive line does get to the quarterback, a lot of times it'll lead to a broken, busted coverage. Quarterback scrambles out.
Yeah.
And find that running lane. So even then it will still kind of fall back on those linebackers to cover that position. And Aggie fans should probably be aware that you're probably going to see a couple 20, 30-yard runs from a quarterback.
Yeah. No, that's how they're going to get their yards. That's how they're going to get their yards on Saturday. I'm excited to see, because if they do decide to start throwing it deep, they have one dude who really catches the majority of the passes. Y'all know who he is?
Are you talking about Jay Fair?
Jay Fair.
Man.
Yeah.
So Jay Fair actually went to my high school.
Really?
Yeah, for a little bit. He was there for, I guess, my junior and senior years, and he was good before he actually transferred to Rockwall Heath. But him being their leading receiver, excites me, because the kid's small, and
Really?
I really didn't think he was an elite receiver.
Yeah.
And so, and A&M was actually recruiting him, and they kind of backed off once they started getting commitments from Chris Marshall, Evan Stewart, and Noah Thomas.
Yeah.
So, I think the A&M receiver core is
way better.
Way better than Auburn's.
Yeah. And you are talking about the injuries that the Auburn secondary was sustaining, right? So this should be a big game for A&M's receiving core.
Oh, I think so too. I think I think they're gonna feast on those DBs, and Connor Wigman's gonna have a lot of fun this weekend.
Yeah, Scott out, right?
Yeah, Keontae Scott is out, and then they could be missing Nehemiah Pritchett, who hasn't played yet this season, and then also safety Donovan Kaufman, who missed last week's game against Samford. But Hugh Freeze said in his conference he thinks Kaufman will be fine. Either way, he's still going to be dealing with
coming off
nagging injury.
Yeah.
And then even if Nehemiah Pritchett plays, it's his first game of the season. He's going to be a little rusty.
And they still got some – it's the SEC. They still got some talent out there at secondaries. Jalen Simpson, you got to check his stats.
I haven't.
A pick a game.
Yeah.
3 interceptions, one of them being a pick 6.
I think whoever wrote around the SEC this week, I think it was Eli, may have been Eli.
He talked about him.
He talked about, in the secondary. And so, yeah, I mean, it's the SEC. There's going to be weapons across the board, even when you lose people. But I think A&M fits into this matchup pretty well in terms of receivers versus secondary. I think they obviously have the advantage there. Like you mentioned, I think the X factor will be Connor Wigman's awareness in the pocket with corner blitzes, and can he find the open receiver? Because even check down, like a check down to Reuben Owens,
isn't a bad idea.
Yeah, no, especially in corner blitz where you will get sacked for 5, 7, 10 yards.
Yeah.
You get a 5-yard reception.
Yeah.
So, I think in terms of that, I think it falls on his awareness, and on the defensive side, like you mentioned, will those linebackers and defensive linemen be able to contain Peyton Thorne?
Yeah, and it's going to be a big game for the linebackers. But however, if this is going to be ULM wasn't a test. I hated watching that game. It was awful. We can get into it later. I hate these non-conference games. Not like against other Power 5 schools, but I'm talking about against ULMs, ACU, I hate those games. I think every team should get one.
I hate to
they just need to be erased at this point.
I hate to plug college basketball but then you must be real excited about A&M's non-conference schedule.
Oh, dude, the talent. Dude, just the actual talent they're going to be facing, the actual competition they're going to be facing. We'll get into that later.
I'm a college basketball dude.
Yeah. Don't get me
we'll
on
have
that.
you back on for basketball season to talk about it.
I had to plug that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Basketball nerd.
I love it.
I respect you, bro. I respect that. But no, I'm excited. This is going to be our first real test since Miami.
Yep.
How's our secondary going to perform? Because these are still talented receivers. How's our defensive line? Are they going to provide pressure? Our linebackers, this game's going to be the first test to see are they legit or not. Is York legit? Is Adrian Cooper legit? We're going to see if they stop those quarterback sneaks. That they're going to a lot of scrambling, a lot of broken plays, and that's how what the other dude, Ashford, gets her stuff.
Yeah, and I still think it's obviously been a lot better than last year, but the offense still has, I'd say, a little bit to prove. I mean, first couple touchdowns against Miami were pretty much handed to them. Where they were field position-wise. And they struggled a little bit to go score without, getting the ball in Miami's territory.
They didn't get no Thomas involved at all until the second half.
Yeah, they didn't.
They did, and they were driving down.
Yeah, they scored a touchdown there at the end.
They started looking good.
But the verdict is still out there. Just how good this offense stands against SEC competition.
Yeah.
So I am excited to see how much they can do on this Auburn defense.
Something that really impressed me and really stood out for me is obviously showing off that depth against ULM. Evan Stewart, they sit just make sure no reason to have him maybe risk an injury against ULM. Noah Thomas gets a little nicked up. No reason playing against ULM. So then Anaya Smith, who's kind of your guy coming in, who's been kind of quiet, finally gets to get thrusted in that role and shines. And then Ja'Day Walker.
Yeah, I've been waiting to talk
all
about
day,
him.
Ja'Day.
All day, Ja'Day, man.
He's so much fun to watch.
Dude. Please talk about him.
I ever since we got him, I feel like because of all the news and everything, you see a recruit from D2 Grand Valley State, and you're like, whatever. But then spring camp, he's looked absolutely stellar. Amazing film from camp. And then he had a couple good catches against New Mexico. Didn't even really do anything.
Man, that one along the sideline against New Mexico was crazy.
It was beautiful. And he had over 100 yards in that game against ULM.
Yeah, he was going absolutely feral.
Yeah. And then
you haven't even really gotten Moose Muhammad involved much, and you know
Exactly.
what he can do.
We know what Moose can do. So those 4 receivers, if they get hurt, we got Moose coming in.
And I mean, for Walker, I mean, the one thing that stood out, I think it was his first or second catch of the game. You know, it's like kind of an under he has to reel back and snag the ball because it wasn't thrown exactly where it needed to be, and just reels back, grabs it, and yoinks it down. He's got good length.
Yeah.
He's got really like sneaky speed. You know, he's kind of sneaky in his route running. I think he's a wide receiver I really hope gets a lot more playing time.
And he probably will. And I
think he earned it.
I think the games that Noah Thomas and Evan Stewart are both in, any secondary in the country is going to be in trouble, but we need to get them involved. We need to get Noah Thomas involved early. We didn't do that against Miami. However, I'm not worried if they aren't there because you have Ja'Day Walker. You have
Anais
Smith,
Moose.
Moose Muhammad.
And heck,
even
Cottrell.
Cottrell.
Yeah, but I mean they threw Micah Tease out there pretty early in that ULM game, and
yeah,
he looked good. And then he returned to that kickoff. You saw his speed.
Yeah,
they have legit
I was
options
so shocked. Wait, Micah Tease?
Yeah,
Micah Tease, number 13.
You sure he played?
Yes,
yeah, he played.
He returned the kickoff.
He returned a kickoff, and
he returned a kickoff.
I don't know if he had.
I thought he was.
He was.
I didn't see that.
Well, no, yeah, he played. Yeah, I think he was just suspended for one game.
I won't go into that. But no, I thought. What y'all think about the
stitches.
tight end situation, like Jake Johnson?
Man,
How do you think he's been playing?
They're getting involved a lot more, which I like to see.
Yeah.
Dude, our tight end.
Him and Max
huge.
Wright.
Yeah,
They're like Jake Johnson, who Theo out there looked like a man amongst boys.
Yeah, I was standing out in the field after the ULM game, and Orstrom walks by me. I was like,
Dude,
like a Viking.
he's Thor.
He's Thor. He looks like.
And don't forget, that guy reclassified. He should be a freshman in college right now.
And so what? He's like 18, 19 years old.
Yeah, something like that. He was committed as a 2023 commit, and not a 2022. Then he reclassified to be in that class, which was a 3 tight end class with Donovan Green, Jake Johnson, and Theo.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and coming from Sweden, he's still learning the game.
Yeah.
They didn't play like football how we do it in America. So
how'd they play?
I mean, I think
what did he play?
I think the field is bigger.
No,
it's
actually really it's actually really unique what they do there. They have American football academy schools.
Yes,
where
they come here and they do camps.
They have these academy schools, and these academy schools play each other. And so like these schools are kind of meant, it's school, but it's really meant to teach you American football, and you play American football against these other schools.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like how you would have like a division in like Texas high school football.
Yeah.
It's like that, but in Sweden.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat.
So what do y'all think about obviously the running back situation, like Amari Daniels?
I mean,
Ruben Owens.
I think
whatever's working.
Yeah.
Jimbo said,
just keep it up. Like, they have 3 legit options there.
Yeah.
Like, I think Ruben Owens is going to be in the long term future the best back out of that stable.
Yeah.
And you're continuing to see that. I mean, he scored his first touchdown last week.
He's going to progress.
I mean, Le'Veon Moss, he's good, and Amari Daniels, he has the juice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, we talked earlier. You'd like to have early on in the year. You'd like to have 1 or 2 that is just, kind of sticking there.
But 3 works.
If it's working,
I mean,
no one's getting tired.
I mean,
they're all picking up yardage.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever works.
That's what Jimbo said in his press conference after ULM. Someone asked him about running back by committee. He's like, "Yeah, we'd love it." He was like, "SEC, you have to have multiple running backs," which I thought was really funny because he only ever ran Devon A-Chain last year.
Yeah, man.
But he said like you have to have like a stable of running backs, and that's true. SEC is gonna hurt you. And so I think having 3 in there, I think is if it works, more power to you. Don't stop.
Yeah. Offensive line too, going there. What do y'all think about that?
They've definitely.
I think it's improved.
Yeah, early in the season, I'd say improved.
For one, Trey Zune is looking much better than he did last year. Obviously, recovering from that injury.
Mm-hmm.
I like their situation at left guard, kind of switching
the
in
interchangeable
Naboo
Mark
and
Naboo
Dewberry.
Dewberry.
And I don't want to see like Bryce Foster not play, but it was good that he didn't play last week to get Naboo some more experience there at center,
Yeah.
just in case that were to happen. You don't want to see Bryce Foster get
Yeah.
injured, whatever. I think the weakest position on the offensive line is that right guard right now.
I hate to say this, and I hate when I'm right. But a few years
No,
ago,
you
I
don't.
never understood. I love it. I never understood the hype around Layden.
Yeah,
I think
he came into that South Carolina game that 2 years ago, that 2020 year, and just dominated. And I think that's what everyone kind
just
of
keeps waiting on to happen.
Exactly.
Again. And I'm gonna be real. Lane Robinson's a great guy. He is going to be the best offensive line coach here and now. He's going to be the best offensive line coach in the country in 10 years from now, or probably less time because I don't think he'll make it. But anyway, he knows how to talk. He knows how to speak. He knows how to grab a room's attention. He did all the press conferences last
his
year.
press
when we were in
conferences
dog
are great.
Yeah, because he just knows what to say. He's a good leader. However,
Great leader.
the hype around him, I want to see more. What's that dude's name? Ogu.
Ogunbi.
I want to see him get some work there. But I want to see him step it up for real. I think Chase Basantes could be really good if he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
Dude, and honestly,
I feel like he goes down every
I would
freaking game.
not mind them rolling out Crownover out there.
Yeah.
That dude looks
I mean, that's
legit.
what Jimmo said in the press conference, that Crownover could start like anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like that. So like, kind of same thing. There's a lot of really good options at offensive line, but
Yeah.
you know,
That's what I was trying to get to, man. I love the depth there. I love how we have depth.
which is
this year.
another position you really got to have depth on. And then of course
yeah.
our defensive line is the defensive line. We go into that every week.
They're fast. They're strong. There's no excuse why we shouldn't be getting
Shamar
10
Turner is a
QBRs
dog.
a game.
But going into Auburn, I need predictions.
Start with you.
Can we
Mr.
talk about
Grant.
one more person?
Yeah,
Sure.
go ahead.
Kicker for Auburn. You know who the kicker is?
Who's their
Oh
kicker?
gosh, it's hold on, Ethan McPherson, right?
Alex McPherson.
Alex McPherson,
the
that's
little
right.
brother of Evan McPherson.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I was looking through today and I saw McPherson. I was like, and a kicker, true freshman. I was like, no
Just
way.
had to talk about
I looked at his stats. He hasn't missed this year.
has to talk about a kicker.
I'm sorry. If there's a time to talk about a kicker, it'd be now.
Hey, if we're gonna talk kickers, Randy Bond knocked down a 51-yarder last
That's what I'm
week.
talking about.
But this is Evan McPherson. He's the one that basically got the Bengals to the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow's first year.
Okay.
And his son is on Auburn.
His son?
Not his son. His little brother's on Auburn.
I was like, dang.
I just thought that was cool. I just wanted to throw that out there. If
No,
y'all
yeah,
didn't
that's
know,
cool.
Evan McPherson's little brother's going to be playing. Okay, predictions. Go.
No, you go.
Me go?
Guess goes first.
What's the spread?
I think it's
6.5,
8.
7.
Oh, it's 8.5.
Oh, it's changed.
It's been changing. I think
Yeah.
it started out at 7 and then it went up to 8. I haven't checked recently.
Okay.
I'm not a gambler
I
myself.
will
Gamblers
go-
gotta go. With
I like
the
to
spread.
I like to go off that because those guys who make those lines are geniuses and they know what they're doing. I'm gonna go.
It's at 7.5 now.
I'm gonna go 33-17.
Okay.
That's what it should be. If the linebackers do their jobs, if the offense utilizes all the skill and the talent they have, that's what the score should be. Now, if DJ Durkin goes in here and poops himself again, the score could be much different. But with the talent they have, the weapons they have, it should be 33-17. It should be a comfortable 2 or 3 possession blowout.
Kid.
Well, I want to say I think A&M has a legit shot to score in the 40s this week. I'm not going to say that they're going to score in the 40s yet just because I haven't seen enough from the offense against Power 5 competition. I'm going 38-24, though. 38-24, Aggies win, and they're rolling in with some momentum into Arkansas.
Dang, we were this close.
We're on that same
We
wave.
were this close.
Oh,
I have
God.
38-23.
Wow. Wow. No, bro, you're wrong. It's going to be 24.
It's gonna be 20.
Let's debate
I
that.
have them kicking 2 field goals.
I hope it's like 38-25 or 22.
I gotta-
Something
just
like
like-
right under y'all.
I got them kicking 2-3 field goals in there. I don't want to do
Okay.
the math right now, but that's where.
Alec McPherson's gonna get a couple.
Yeah, from what you're telling me, you
Come
sold me on
Yeah,
this kicker.
shoot. Since you said that, I might boost the score up a little bit.
They're gonna
No,
get
I'm
their
just
field
kidding.
goals. I just hope it doesn't come down to McPherson kicking a field goal.
Oh,
'Cause we're
man.
done.
Are we?
We're done. I'll tell y'all
Just
right
because
now.
of his brother.
Just because his brother's Evan.
So those,
Cheers.
Just 'cause
those
his-
those kickers bloodlines, man, they run deep.
They run deep, dude.
Do you think he's gonna stay and watch our band perform at halftime, like his brother did for the Super Bowl?
He might. He might.
I think he might enjoy
He
it.
probably should stay and watch the Fighting Texas
Hey.
Aggie band.
They're a
If you
musical
don't,
family.
then you're missing out. You're missing out.
Hey, so which one of y'all gonna be up in the press box?
Not
that will
me.
be I.
I'll be up there.
All right.
I didn't
Well,
want to go up there for UL. It's freaking UL.
Well, I'll see you there. But
You didn't go to that one?
No, I had some stuff come up. I could have pushed it off, but I was like, I'm gonna do this stuff. It's ULM.
Yeah.
Um,
Good
I,
one to miss.
I watched the game. I wrote for the game, but no, it's not.
Good one to
But,
miss.
well, I'll see you up there. But in terms of our podcast, that's it for this episode. Again, thank you, Grant, for coming on these couple episodes.
we
It's
missed
good
you,
to have
man.
you
It's been
back.
fun. These two podcasts have been super fun.
Man,
so.
I miss y'all so much.
We'll
I'm
we'll
so
have you
happy y'all
back
got
on
me
for
back.
sure during the semester.
Yeah, most
Like
definitely.
when college basketball rolls around, or heck,
The next big huge game for A&M. Hopefully, if it's LSU,
dude,
I'm
if
gonna
we're
be here.
if we're previewing an
And
SEC
then
West
basketball
West
preview.
championship matchup against LSU, we gotta have Grant
Yeah.
on.
No,
has to happen.
100%. I appreciate y'all having me on, bro.
Love you, bro.
Love you too, dog. I'll get you later. I'll get you later across the room.
But thank you for listening to this episode of the Home Tour Podcast. I'm Hunter Mitchell,
Cade Harris.
Grant Gaspard.
and we'll catch you next time.